Here are dozens of ways to make quick cash in your spare time. You'll be hearing from 4 different speakers, each sharing their top money-making ideas. First up, we have Shane Hummus. Let's dive into his tips, starting with
the laziest ways to make money online. And almost all of these are going to be great for beginners. So with that being said, go ahead and cheers the like button, and let's jump into it with number 1 on the list, which is scanning your shopping receipts. And there's actually several different ways that you can do this, but one of the main apps is going to be Ibotta. And Ibotta is basically a platform where users can earn cashback rewards by scanning their shopping receipts and eligible purchases. And it's perfect for beginners because it basically requires minimal effort. All you have to do is be able to scan a receipt. And it's uncommon because many people don't realize they can even earn money from their everyday purchases. And Ibotta has a lot of really good ratings online on various different websites. And on top of being able to scan receipts, you also get really good cashback rewards, as much as 30% for different types of retailers. So just to give a few examples, you've got the Home Depot, Best Buy, Hotels.com, eBay, Priceline, Walmart, Sam's Club, Kohl's, Chewy, Groupon, and Old Navy. So if you're going to be doing shopping at these places anyways, you might as well use Ibotta because they feature these ones and 2,000 other retailers. So yeah, you're not going to get rich doing this. The most you'd make is maybe an extra 50 or 100 bucks a month. But with that being said, it's super easy to do, super beginner friendly, very accessible, also doesn't take that much time. And if you're going to be shopping at these places anyways, you might as well get the cash back and also scan your receipts. So I'll give this one an opportunity score of 7 out of 10. All right, so if you're exhausted with your 9 to 5, pay close attention. These were my earnings after a few months of doing YouTube when I was working as a full-time pharmacist. And a short time after that, I was making more from YouTube than I was at my pharmacist job. All right, the next side gig that you can do, it's gonna be a little harder than some of the other ones on this list, but it's still not that difficult. And that's gonna be Instagram shoutouts. Now, there's kind of a underground sort of market of these people who will basically shout your account out on Instagram, and they'll drive a bunch of traffic to your account, and then you basically pay them for those shoutouts. And then if you're able to make money from that traffic, it's worth it. And this is something that's actually extremely common. In fact, there's people that have mastered this and they're making like $1 million a month doing this. But with that being said, there's people who are starting these shout out accounts, and a lot of the time they'll get paid $100, $200, $300, $400 for a shout out. Now you do have to have a large account, and it has to be a legit account as well. And it does take some time to grow those types of accounts, but typically they're kind of like meme accounts, right? They're very easy to grow. You post a bunch of memes that are related to the subject, and that's how you grow them. But this is a legit way to make money. I mean, it's not super difficult to grow these types of accounts. It does take some time, but it's a 100% legit way of making money. And like I said, you can charge anywhere from like $50 to $500 for a shout out. So I'll go ahead and give this one an opportunity score of 8.5 out of 10. By the way, it's not just Instagram. You can do this same thing on TikTok as well. And it's basically where you shout out another TikTok, you send a bunch of traffic over to them, and then hopefully they're able to monetize it. And then they would pay you a certain amount of money. In some cases, you might also shout out a product, and you would make anywhere from $10 to $500 to do this. So again, you do have to have a large TikTok in order to do this. But yeah, this one can be pretty good. I'll go ahead and give it a 7.5 out of 10 opportunity score. Next is going to be watching videos. So yeah, you can actually get paid to watch videos through platforms like Givey. And all you have to do is just simply download the app, open it, then you start watching videos, and you will be making money. So you'd get paid about 1,000 to 3,000 Givey coins for every single video you watch. But the only problem is you have to make about 10,000 Givey coins in order to earn 1 cent. So you have to watch several videos just to earn a single cent, basically. So you're not going to be making a lot of money with this, but if you're going to be watching videos anyways, you might as well get paid to do it. And it's a super passive way of making money while you're just relaxing anyways. So I'll go ahead and give this one a 5.5 out of 10 opportunity score. By the way, if you want to actually be the one making the videos, I think that's a much better opportunity. That of course is going to take some extra work, but it's actually easier than ever to grow on YouTube because YouTube is boosting smaller channels right now. And I don't know how long this is going to last, so you definitely want to take advantage of this as fast as you can. Next is going to be making money by walking with Sweatcoin. Yes, this is actually a coin that will pay you to just walk around. So while you're exercising, you'll be exercising your bank account as well. And believe it or not, there's over 10 million people that are using Sweatcoin. So this is not going to be like a full-time income. You basically might make some beer beginner money by putting this on at all times. But still, it's extremely passive, extremely easy. Beginner can do it and you will make money. It's not a scam. So I'll go ahead and give this one a 6 out of 10 opportunity score. Next is going to be a Netflix tagger. So if you are somebody who likes to Netflix and chill, or just Netflix, whatever you prefer, this might be a great opportunity for you, because basically what you do is you just watch shows and then you categorize them, right? Have you ever been looking for a show to watch and you hover over a Netflix show and it says that it's a gritty, dark drama or a psychological thriller or a romantic comedy? Well, there was somebody who probably tagged that. In fact, there were probably many different people who tagged that show. And believe it or not, you can make $35,000 to $85,000 a year doing this. Now, this is something you have to basically apply for. I'll put the sort of link up on the screen for you and the application. So unfortunately, this isn't something where you can just download an app and start doing it. But with that being said, if you're somebody who watches a lot of Netflix anyways, this sounds like a dream job to me, because you just get to watch a bunch of shows and then tag them. So I'll go ahead and give this one a 9 out of 10 opportunity score. Next one is going to be the stock market, right? So I think everybody's aware of this one. You do have to actually have money to do this, but you can just invest your money. If it's going to be in your bank anyways, you might as well be doing it. Invest your money and you get a certain amount back. And in some cases, it might be every single month if you get dividend payouts, for instance. So typically the stock market goes up about 10%. I think it's like 8% if you adjust for inflation every single year. Sometimes it goes down a little bit. For the most part, it goes up about 10% every single year. So instead of just leaving it in the bank and letting inflation eat away at it, you might as well get paid a little bit of money back, right? So obviously, I think everyone knew about this one. I'm going to give it like a 9 out of 10 opportunity score. It's amazing, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I think you guys already know about it. Next is going to be uploading AI generated photos and videos. And the website you can use is wirestock.io. So basically, you get really good with prompts. You get really good using something like Midjourney, for instance. You create a bunch of different AI related images and videos. You upload them to this website and other people have the ability to license them and use them. And there's this guy who popped up on my TikTok and he was making about over $1,500 a month just from uploading AI generated photos on Wirestock, right? So there are real people making real money doing this. You also get 85% of the royalties. So you get 85% of the money if someone ends up buying your photo so that they can actually use it. So yeah, I think that's a great opportunity. Honestly, AI videos especially are an amazing opportunity if you know what people are searching for. AI videos are starting to get really good and I could see this being really, really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 9 out of 10 opportunity score. Something very similar to this, except it's for music, is Mubert.com. And this is basically where you generate AI related music, then you upload it, and if people end up buying it and using it, again, for royalties, you get paid. So it does require a little bit of skill. Like you have to be able to recognize that the music's actually good, so you have to be musically inclined, but it is relatively easy to use. It's not that hard to generate this AI music, and then you get paid whenever people do it. And Mubert does pay out about 80% of every single sale to you, right? So that's pretty good. I don't see this one as being as good because I just think music is one of those things that's so artistic and it changes all the time that AI is not going to be as good at making that kind of thing. But I'll still go ahead and give it a 7 out of 10 opportunity score because I think it's really interesting. Next is going to be typing CAPTCHAs. Yes, those annoying things that pop up when you try to enter your password and they want to make sure that you're not a robot. And so you have to complete them. And there's websites out there that actually test CAPTCHAs. So there's websites out there like 2CAPTCHA or Kalotibablo, interesting name, where you can get paid for typing CAPTCHAs. And on 2CAPTCHA.com, for instance, you would get paid $1 for every 1,000 correct CAPTCHAs. Now, that's a lot of CAPTCHAs that you have to do. I mean, you could probably earn like, I don't know, $5 to $8 in a day doing this. So it'd be less than minimum wage. So for that reason, it is legit. You can make money, but it's probably not good for people watching this from a first world English speaking country. And so for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 4 out of 10 opportunity score. Next one is going to be QMe, and this is where you can get paid for browsing online, right? So you're just browsing the internet, maybe you participate in some surveys, you do some shopping online, and you just enable QMe, and you get paid for that. It's pretty much that simple. Now, the earnings are very minimal, but it isn't a scam. You actually do make money from this one. But again, maybe an extra 20 bucks a month, something like that. But you're not really having to do anything extra, so might as well do it, right? I'll give this one a 5 out of 10 opportunity score.
Next, Robin from Creativity RV will share 3 ways you can earn some quick cash in your spare time. Take it away, Robin.
Now, I know a lot of us can use some extra money right now, whether we needed to buy groceries or get gas or pay for the holidays, or we have an unexpected bill. These are the kind of jobs online that you can do to make some extra cash to help pay for those things or pay something off or save for something you want to do in the future. These are opportunities where you can do some quick work online without a big commitment and get paid. Some of them pay in 1 day and some of them pay in 3 weeks. But the good thing is, when you find 20 bucks in your couch, that's the last time you're going to find that 20 bucks. These you can go back to over and over again and keep making money. The second thing I want to say is that these are all legit opportunities where you can really make money. There's going to be people, I'm sure, in the comments that say, oh, I tried that one thing and I applied one time and I didn't get chosen and it's all a scam. Not true. These are real opportunities where real people get paid. But I'll go through in a minute how they're choosing people for these opportunities. There are best practices, but just know if you want a gig that's on one of these platforms and you don't get it, don't be discouraged. You just have to fish. And I'm going to go through that in just a minute. You have to take some time to put your lines out to get as many opportunities as possible. They're out there. And I have people that are making quite a bit of money doing nothing but this type of opportunity. And I'll tell you about that in a second. And also, people are going to say, oh God, that's not worth my time if I'm only making $2 or $6 or $10. Not true. These opportunities and some other ones that might be making 75 cents an opportunity, but literally they're sitting at work, something beeps, they go boop, boop, and make their 75 cents with that one company. And over the course of the day, they've made 40 bucks. You have to know that these things all add up. Let me show you a couple of screenshots from people that have actually used these resources. And you can see they're not making a lot of money. Nobody's getting rich here, but doing some stuff in their spare time, they're making, $15, $80, $7. And when you see these screenshots, by the way, and you see little tiny things whited out, it's just so I can protect people's identity. But you have to know that these things add up. Some of my testers I know are making 30, 40, 50 grand in their spare time on top of their regular jobs. They really work it. And you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. So I'll tell you how to get the most out of it today, and what you do with it is up to you. The first opportunity I'm going to tell you about is called IntelliZoom Panel, which helps businesses make better websites and applications by having them tested by real people just like you. So with this type of a gig, all you have to do is be yourself. Be a real person and give your real opinions on these websites and these applications. It's that easy. They're going to ask you a bunch of demographic information. Now, this is the same with all these types of companies. It is crucial that you do not half-ass this step. Really fill out all the information that they ask you for. So if you're a pet lover, you like hiking, you used to be a nurse, whatever it is, put that in there if they ask you, because that's how they choose people that they want for these different tests. If one test is only looking for people, let's say 18 to 35, if you're 60, you may be put out by that. That's not age discrimination. These companies need people in the demographic that's going to be using their product to test their product. There's going to be other tests that are for you and not for them. So don't worry about it. Just keep looking. There's lots and lots of opportunity out there for everybody. Now, my tester made about $900 so far this year with IntelliZoom. Now, that's not a lot compared to some of the other money she's making, but we wanted to tell you about IntelliZoom before some of the other opportunities because it's a good starter for people that want to do user testing. Because with user testing, they really want you to be dynamic and give your feedback and give your opinions. And with IntelliZoom, you can do that and get paid and get really good at it before you go to some of the other platforms where you only get one chance. And if you don't know what you're doing, you won't be able to make the big money from those platforms. So with IntelliZoom, what you're going to do a lot of the time is you're going to be going through an app or a website and just scrolling around and giving your opinion while you're recording your voice sometimes or the screen sometimes. There are 3 different categories that they have tests in. The first one is for the actual website testing. That pays about $8 for maybe 10 or 15 minutes of your time. So let's say that they want you to check out a new bank app. You may go into that app on your phone if you're approved for the test, and you go around and you say, okay, well, I wanted this link to be over there and I like the way this looks, but I can't find this information. Bam, that's it. You're done. In just a few minutes, you made $8. The next one is card sorting, which pays about $5. Let's use the bank app as an example again. Let's say you go into a banking app and they have a bunch of links on the side. You can tell them what order you think those links should go in. Like, should the location of the ATM be right next to the link for loans? Probably not. That's the kind of feedback that they want. And the final one is just a quick survey. They usually take about 5 minutes and they pay $2 just to give your opinion. Now, with this opportunity and a lot of others, you're going to want to have a PayPal account and, in my opinion, a dedicated email address for all of these opportunities. Here's why. Almost all of these online gigs pay through PayPal. Really easy to set up if you don't already have an account. And a lot of them notify you through email. Do not have this mixed up with your personal email. It will make you rip your hair out, in my opinion. If you want to do these kind of side hustles, have a dedicated email just for these types of jobs. Here are a few best practices to make the most out of IntelliZoom. First of all, be sure to read the FAQ for IntelliZoom before you start to get through any pitfalls, because you might do a test and be like, it was rejected. Why was it rejected? Well, you'll know that if you read their FAQ so that you know you're doing the right thing right out of the gate. The next thing is that IntelliZoom actually notifies you of new opportunities through email, not an app or a push notification. So a couple times a day, you're going to want to go in and check your email. A lot of my testers have signed up for many of these types of opportunities, and every morning they go in and check to see if there's a new test or a new opportunity, or they might do it multiple times a day. I do know of one person that just started doing this last week and has already made like $400, even though she's brand new, because she works it every single morning. And the last thing is, with any of these, if they're recording you, they're recording your screen or your voice, have an opinion, be dynamic. When they get the results back from their testers and they're going to the website designers, they need to actually know what you were thinking. And the only way that can happen is if you talk. The next thing I want to tell you about, I think is pretty fun. It's a platform called Prolific, which matches researchers with research participants. Usually they have kind of a psychological bent, but again, this is one of those quick online opportunities where they just want to get your opinion on something. Like, my testers have done quick tests on things like, have you ever had a bad coworker? Or they'll show you some pictures and say, what's good, what's bad? Rank these things. It's super easy and anybody can participate because, again, for these types of studies, they're looking for real people from all walks of life, and that means you. Now, here's a screenshot of what my tester has actually earned just with Prolific this year. You'll see that it's in pounds because Prolific does pay in pounds. They're based in the UK. But of course, that goes into PayPal. No big deal. You withdraw the money in US dollars. Now, I have blurred out a couple of things again because I want her identity to stay anonymous. But you can see how much she's earned this year, how many studies she had to do to make that money. And basically, she was approved for about 70% of the studies that she applied for. And she made this year so far $6,000. Now, you won't get accepted for every study with Prolific or any other platform. You have to actually fish. So what you want to do is you want to check your emails. You want to turn on your push notifications. There's one for Prolific actually on Google Chrome that will beep if a new research test is available. So you can just run over and apply for it really quick. My tester calls this fishing. She spends about 15% of all of her time doing side hustles just applying for them, applying for ones that she may not get. But you have to do this if you want to make regular money with some of these gigs. If you want to give Prolific a try, here are some best practices to make it work for you. First of all, again, be sure to take the 10 minutes to go through the FAQ to make sure that you're actually giving them what they want so that you'll be approved and get paid for these studies. The next thing is have your driver's license ready, because when you are approved for Prolific, you have to take a picture of yourself next to your driver's license so they know that you are a real person and not a bot. It's not for anything else. You are anonymous as a participant of the research study itself. The next thing is when you're doing a study through Prolific, don't go too fast. They're going to tell you how much time it takes on average for people to finish a test. Take that amount of time because they really want to know that you're reading the study and actually thinking about it before you're replying. And they're going to have little checks along the way to make sure that you're still paying attention. You have to do that in order to get paid at the end. So just be mindful of that. And finally, if you go over to Prolific right now and apply to be a new tester, you're going to see a big fat screen that says you have to join a waiting list. Don't worry. There are new tests. Join the waiting list. Fill out the information. It says if you do a deeper dive into their website, which we have in the listing in the book, that they want to make sure their regular testers have the amount of work that they want, which is pretty cool, actually. So they're going to get a first crack at it. Then they're going to give you the crack at it. And then once you do a few, you're going to be one of the existing testers and you're going to get dibs, and they'll choose you because you do a good job. The third opportunity I want to tell you about today is called Dscout, and this one can be a moneymaker. Basically, Dscout is another market research app where you can do most of the gigs on your phone in your spare time. There are some that you can do on a laptop, but they'll tell you that right in the beginning. To do Dscout, you really have to be comfortable talking into your phone's camera, and they want people that are going to be dynamic just like the other ones. The good thing about Dscout is that some of their opportunities pay quite a bit for just a little amount of time. Now, my tester has made well over $4,000 this year. Again, I've blurred a couple little things out so that we keep her identity hidden. Now, the missions that you do with Dscout pay different amounts. You can see here some screenshots from my tester that she's done some that are $5 and some that were up to $250. They require a different time commitment. And when you apply to do the actual mission itself, they're going to tell you exactly what it entails. So here's what the Dscout screen on the app might look like. You can see that there are some express missions. These usually pay about $2 or $5, but they also have longer missions. And here is an example of one and an example of what they tell you about the mission. They tell you how much it pays, what the time commitment is, and how many people they need to participate. Now, when you go fishing for new missions inside of Dscout, it's a little bit different than it is with the other platforms. You might see that there's some new mission available that you want to apply for. Recently, my tester did one that paid $250, and it was all about cheese. To apply for the mission, they wanted her to take a picture of the cheese that was in her house and then videotape herself and say, this is the reason I love cheese. This is how I like to cook with cheese, right? Then she was accepted for this long mission based on that little test. And that mission lasted a month, and they just had her keep a diary of what she liked to do with cheese, and it paid $250. So again, the first thing is you want to check the app to see if there's new missions. Then you want to put your line out and fish for that new mission by doing a little tester, which is usually you recording yourself on a screen. And then for the longer, higher paying missions, you'll get an invitation to participate, which might mean that you're recording your screen, you're keeping a diary, or for the biggest paying ones, you might actually be talking to a researcher on Zoom. Now, here are some best practices to be successful with Dscout and get to some of those higher paying missions. You want to make sure that you're recording yourself well. So have the phone at a good angle. You don't want to be looking up your nose. Make sure that you have good lighting, that they can hear you and the phone's not shaky and there's not a lot of background noise. And again, be really dynamic, have an opinion. And don't worry, because you can always erase a recording and then re-record it before you submit it to Dscout.
Now let's hear from Rob Dial from Mindset Mentor, who has some great money-making strategies for us. Here he is.
So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of ways that I've heard people making money online. See if maybe of them interest you. You can Google it. You can figure out if there is somebody out there that has a course on it, and you can buy a course on how to start a successful e-commerce business or whatever it might be. So I have friends that make money online in really weird ways. The very first person that I ever met that was like really blowing my mind, like crazy blowing my mind, is I was at a networking event. There was this guy that I was talking to. He's very, very shy and super shy. Didn't seem like he could be a business owner in any sort of way. Super shy guy, and he was telling me about how he runs Facebook ads for other people. I was like, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that was a thing. About 7 years ago, 8 years ago at this point almost. He's like, yeah, I make money doing this. I'm like, cool. Like, how's that going for you? How much do you make? And he's like, yeah, I make about $700,000 a month. And I was like, I'm sorry, you do what? You make $700,000 a month? And I looked at this guy and I was like, he doesn't seem like he's the leader type, the type of person that, would be in front of a bunch of people. And it blew my mind to think that this guy could do that. And I looked at him and I was like, not in a bad way, but I was like, if this guy could do it, I could probably do it as well. And so ways you can make money online. One way you could do it, exactly like I just said, running other people's Facebook ads. That's a whole beast. It's just to learn Facebook and Instagram ads, TikTok ads, Google ads, YouTube ads. There's tons of different ad agencies that literally just get paid to run other people's ads. They get a monthly charge of like, hey, it's $5,000 a month to work with me, and I'll take 10% of profit. Something like that. That usually is pretty common, $8,000 a month, and I'll take 5% of profit, whatever it might be. And when you build up a clientele base and you're doing this and you're making them money, you're able to make a lot of money as well. So it's cool because you make money when other people make money. Other ways you could do it as well. If you love writing, you could write articles. There's many people I know that write articles and they get paid based off of people seeing their articles that they create. And they put them on different places. They put them on Medium. Some people I know write for Business Insider. They write for all of these other companies that you see, Success Magazine, online, and they get paid for the ones that they just create one per week on all these different platforms. You could write articles if you like writing. You could be a ghostwriter, which means that somebody that, like me, maybe has a podcast and you go up to them and you're like, hey, you have some really good content. You ever thought about self-publishing a book? I can help you write that book. If writing is something that you love doing. You can make money doing YouTube videos. I will tell you, it takes a long time till you actually get that up and running and start making real good money. But there's people online that make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars every single year by creating YouTube videos. And the way you get paid off of that is if you've ever gone to YouTube and you've seen an ad, well, usually what happens is YouTube will take like 45% of that ad revenue and 55% of it will be given to the person who created it. So it's the same thing as like if you watch ESPN, ESPN gets paid off of the ads that are showed on it, right? What's cool is if you create YouTube, you will actually get paid off of the people who see the ads on your YouTube videos. There's also, you could start your own Shopify store. You can start your own Shopify store and be able to grow a business that way. I know people that have Etsy stores. I know people that love creating clothing, and they create clothing. I know people who have vintage clothing where they'll go to actually go to what's that called? Like Goodwill. And they'll actually find vintage clothing that they know people want to buy. They'll buy it for like $2 or $3. They'll put it online for like $40, $50, and they make a massive profit off it if anybody buys it. There's sponsorships. If you create reels on Instagram and you apply for it and you're able to do it, they'll actually pay you for putting up reels and the amount of viewers that you get. So they do that on Instagram, they do that on Facebook, they do that on TikTok now, they do it on YouTube. You could run a clothing brand. I have a friend who has a clothing brand. He just sold it for in the hundreds of millions of dollars and started like 6 years ago. And so you could run a clothing brand if that's something that if you're interested in style. I know people who have makeup companies where they make, not makeup companies, they eventually have developed their own makeup company, but they literally put on makeup for other women to see. And they say, hey, this makeup's from Sephora. You could go ahead and buy this and use my link and you get 10% off, whatever it is. And so they're a makeup influencer. They have an Instagram following, a TikTok following, a YouTube following, and they make money doing it that way. And so there's so many different ways to do it. There's affiliate marketing where if you can figure out a way to get a lot of eyeballs, you can help other people sell their products if you believe in their products. So that's affiliate marketing where, maybe you have a following around, I don't know, let me think, a following around fitness, right? And you've been putting up fitness videos and you're getting fitness people. You could either sell them a course that you create, or if you know somebody who has a really good course and you don't want to create it, you could drive those people to that person's course if you believe in it and get paid a commission for every single person that you send to them that they buy. You could get paid podcasting. I'm going to tell you, it takes a long time. I didn't make any money off my podcast for about 5 years, but at this point in time, the amount of revenue that comes in is very, very substantial with the size of the podcast now. So maybe podcasting is something that you're interested in. That's a little bit of a long runway. Some of these are a long runway. But if you're like, hey, this is what I want to do, and you work a full-time job, and you're like, I want to be making full-time income in 2 years from this. Well, now you've got a 2-year runway to actually start building up a following, building up this business, screwing it up, making mistakes, all of that stuff. You could definitely do that. You could write emails for other people. You could get into copywriting if maybe you want to learn how to sell through the amazing art of actually typing something out. Like, I'm good at selling by talking to somebody, but I'm not good at selling by writing something out because I'm just not a good writer. Not that I'm not a good writer. I'm just not a fan of writing. I'd prefer not to do that. I'd rather talk. And so some people, I have multiple friends that are incredible copywriters, and they write copy, email copy, to sell other people's products. And then both of the two people I'm thinking of actually coach other people how to become copywriters to make money doing that as well. So there's that example. There's selling supplements. I know people that have started massive. One of my friends sold a supplement business for $15 million. And you can sell supplements. You could sell stuff on Amazon. I have another friend that literally teaches people how to make money on Amazon because he built his business, his first Amazon business, from $0 to $1 million in his first 12 months. I know somebody who makes, no joke, $2.5 million a year on her course on how to teach people how to do handstands for yoga. And she teaches people, and it's like a low ticket, it's like $100, but she has tons of people who just want to learn how to get better at handstands for yoga, and she sells it like crazy. I know people that do jump roping courses, harmonica courses. I know people that are freelances, do freelancing on Upwork. Upwork is where you can basically be a freelancer and sell your product, your service, whatever your service is, to people who need you. I've hired people that do digital design through Upwork. I've hired copywriters through Upwork. I've hired people that build landing pages through Upwork. And so if you're a freelancer in some sort of way, you can go to Upwork, and there's many other websites you can freelance. You can put your services on there, and people can actually hire you to do that. I know people that have successful businesses, make multiple 6 figures per year, doing social media management. They actually go out to people, businesses, and run their social media because the average business owner, number one, doesn't know how to run social media. Number two, doesn't care to run their social media. So you could do that. You could write Kindle books. I know people that write Kindle books, short Kindle books, like 30, 40 pages, that are just really hardcore. Like, so if someone's like, I want to learn about neuroplasticity, and they learn everything they possibly can about it, and then they write a book about it, they put it on Amazon, and they get paid $5 every single time somebody buys that book. I have a friend that literally makes, no joke, he had an extremely successful, it was like an anomaly, it's not normal, it's the unicorn of self-publishing books, and he makes $70,000 a month off of his book that he self-published himself. He wrote it, it's a massive book. I'm not gonna tell you guys the book, because if you heard me say it, you would know the book, and I don't want to tell you guys how much this one person specifically makes, but he makes over $70,000 a month off of that. Then he also makes money, and there's so many different ways that you guys can tell. He also makes money off of selling the audiobook, and people buy the audiobook, and he makes more money off the audiobook sales than he does off the actual Kindle sales. I remember how I made my first dollar online, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And I made $15 while I was asleep through Amazon affiliates. So I had told people on my following, like, hey, if you want to sign up for Amazon Kindle, if you want to, not Kindle, what was it? Audible. If you want to sign up for Audible, it's a free trial, and you do a free trial. And I had mentioned it on my podcast 7 years ago. And I was like, hey, if you want to go to this website, it was my website that went directly through. They signed up for a free trial, and I got paid $15 for that free trial through Amazon affiliates. And I was like, oh my God, I made money while I was asleep. And from there, it was like, this is amazing. I hope that for you guys, if finding a way to make money online is something that you want to do, is something that you do.
Finally, we have Sophie Mahir, who will share fantastic money-making ideas for artists, designers, creators, and really anyone, because let's be honest, we all have a bit of creativity in us. Even if you're not an artsy person, Sophie's tips are sure to inspire you. Here she goes.
Now, funnily enough, there really are a ton of ways to make money from your art and in your art business. But today, I just wanted to hone that down and share with you the 10 best ways I believe you can make money from your art in 2024. And this is something I get asked a lot. Sophie, what should I focus on right now in order to make money from my creativity? The funny thing is, I really do believe that you can make money from pretty much anything, any way that you can dream of to structure your business. I think you really can make money from, so long as you have these three critical factors. Number one, you have a high quality product or service. Number two, you create a clear business plan with a goal and the steps of how you intend to achieve that goal. And number three, that you are prepared to take daily, consistent action. Now, if you're going to do those three things, I think you are set. I'm going to walk you through what I believe are the 10 best ways right now. And my suggestion for you is listen out for that one thing that really lights you up, that you think, yeah, do you know, that's pretty much what I'm doing. It's what I want to do. It's what I'd love to do. Or it's what I hadn't even thought I could do, but that sounds amazing. Now, I'm a great believer in focusing on one thing until you've got it up and running. Mull around and think about which one of these 10 things is going to work for me. Let's get started with number one. Yes, originals is going to be the first of that list. I still believe it's a brilliant way to make money. And of course, if you sell these yourself rather than through a third party, say online site or through a gallery, you're going to maximize the profit. Now, I'm not saying at all that you shouldn't sell it through a third party person. I think it's a great idea, but if you want to maximize and get the most money back for your product, then obviously selling it yourself from your own platform is going to be the best way to do that. Large profit margins, right? When you really think about the cost of materials, it's pretty easy to work out that you can make a large amount of money with selling, especially if you're going to focus on larger originals as well. People love original art. They always did, and they always will, whether you sell it online or offline. Like I said, I would perhaps suggest you focus on larger work. I think people really like a statement piece in their home. And obviously, the cost of materials is not really going to be that much higher to work on larger, but the price point that you can charge for a larger canvas is definitely significantly more. I'm just going to give you an example. Supposing your goal was to make, I don't know, $36,000 this year. And supposing the profit on your artwork was just $15,000, you only need to sell 2 a month. If the profit, of course, were $3,000, you only need to sell 1 a month. And suddenly the business seems pretty simple, right? What if it was? What if the profit margin on a fairly substantial side canvas was $3,000 and all you had to do was sell 1 a month? There are myriad ways that you can work out how to sell that amount of artwork. And as a bonus, of course, you can take photos and create prints of that artwork so you have a second product to sell. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Number two, and that is to work with commissions. A lot of people hate commissions, and I really think the reason why they haven't got a tight enough contract and they're not actually perhaps using a really solid process to work with the customer. Because I've done commissions in the past and they've been some of the best things I've ever done. And I think when they're structured well, what a great way to make money. You make the sale before you've even created the artwork. Take a deposit up front, maybe even 50%. So again, you can take photos of that artwork and create a second product with prints after the fact. Number three, giclée prints. What do we mean by that? High quality prints. What does that equal? A higher price point. So again, a fairly good profit margin. Also, if you sell them yourself, you can maximize the profit, right? You want to have these made to order. Work with a good local printer. Or if you really want to and you know your whole business is set around prints, then you invest in the equipment yourself. I do recommend, however, that you don't do that until you know that you want to and you can build your business off prints, because it's quite costly to get really good quality equipment. It's easier to start with just to find somebody locally who's going to work with you. Once you become collectible, you can also consider limited edition prints. And that's particularly good because your audience maybe can't afford a large one, or they're not ready for a large original, but they'd really like a limited edition print. It gives them a little bit of exclusivity. You've only got 10 available of this image, for example, and they get snapped up. Again, top tip, I wouldn't do this until you're collectible, because a limited edition doesn't really mean anything to anybody unless there's demand for the product, all right? Number four, print on demand prints. So again, you're working from the same image. You've either had a photo taken or a high quality scan from the original artwork. And instead of, perhaps you don't like the idea of having to set up with the print, you don't want to have to use a local printer, you don't want to have to do any of that, you want something that's a bit more hands off. So what do we mean by print on demand prints? That's something that you're going to set up online. You set it up once and it's pretty hands off. It's a passive income once it's going. All right, there's smaller profits because it's going to be a lower price point product. And you can use a platform like Etsy as a shop front, or Shopify if you're a bit more established. So again, with good SEO, so search engine optimization, to your Etsy listings, you can get some really great sales without very much marketing. And you're going to use a print-on-demand partner such as Printify, Printful, etc., who are going to fulfill the products. Number 5 ways to make money from your art this year is staying with the print-on-demand theme. And this time we're looking at apparel. Print-on-demand t-shirts and sweatshirts. Now, before you switch off and you go, oh my God, Sophie, I'm not selling myself out. You know, you have to think about, if you want to build a business, you need to have some income streams. If you love creating the art, and if you're walking around now and you're seeing not many plain sweatshirts and t-shirts, but mostly they have images, graphics, all sorts of beautiful things on there, that is because right now these are high demand. So as an artist, you are right at the front edge of actually being able to create unique work that's unlike some of the other work that's out there that all kind of looks a bit similar. So consider this, again, very hands-off, passive income. You can also use Etsy plus a print-on-demand partner such as Printify, Printful. I recommend Printify. Again, much smaller margins, but let's think about it. Supposing you've created a piece of artwork, you've maybe even sold the original, you've maybe set yourself up for some prints and you think, I've got this artwork. Do you know what? If I just maybe even removed some of the edges and made it a bit ragged around the edge, it can look really cool on a t-shirt. You could then consider using this as another income stream and putting your artwork on sweatshirts and t-shirts. And they really, really, really are flying out of the store at the moment. Just remember, your margin now suddenly, when we looked at originals and then we looked commissions, will be the sort of same, and then we looked at prints, and then we looked at print-on-demand prints. Now we're going right the way down. So we need volume here. You might end up with $10 or $20 every time somebody buys one. But imagine if 100 people buy one, and 100 people buy another design, 50 people buy that design, the numbers can start to stack up. Now, here's the caveat. It's not a simple setup. It is going to take a bit of learning to get yourself set up. But once it's set up, and if you're good with your design platforms and you like working on the computer and you have images already that you think, do you know what? I think my stuff would look great on here. This is a really brilliant way to make money right now. Will it still be this opportunity 5 years from now? Probably not. Is it an opportunity right now that you could jump on? Absolutely. So number 6 way that you can make money from your art this year, we're staying in the print on demand, and you might be going, but it's all one thing. And the reason I've sectioned these off because they're going to suit different types of art. So number 6 is also print on demand, but this is more about posters, stickers, digital downloads. If you are more of a surface designer, you make repeating patterns, or you already perhaps have tried making stickers, you know how to create stickers, you use Procreate, you use digital art, then this is a great income stream for you. Again, digital downloads, stickers, and posters are super popular right now. So it's along the same lines. You're going to use Etsy as your storefront and your print-on-demand partner, something like Printful or Printify. Printify is my preferred. Stickers are hugely popular, all right? Posters also too, and especially those that are downloadable at home. So if your customer's creating one of those walls that's got lots of different images on it, and they can quickly and easily say, I love that, I love that, I love that, and they can buy them for an affordable amount, they can print them at home, they've got an instant wall, they're happy, and you've made lots and lots of little amounts of money, which all add up, by the way, all right? Especially if this is an income stream alongside another income stream, okay? Now, this is going to work even better with you if you can keep up with the trends. If you understand and know what's trending this year in terms of design and colors, then you can get ahead of the market and you can start creating some things that you know people are going to want for this season. Again, will this way of making money be around in 5 years? Who knows? Could be even bigger, or we could be onto something else by then. This is about an opportunity for you right here, right now. Number 7 ways to make money. It's also print on demand. We're back into solid products again. And this is things like mugs, tote bags, notebooks, and yes, phone cases. So again, now if you're somebody who's more of a surface designer, somebody who's easy with making repeat patterns and can create your design specifically to fit the sizes of these products, because when you think about it, if you make a piece of artwork and you try and do what I did way back in the day, which is take a section of it and put it on my phone, it's okay for me, but it's not great, right? But if you're somebody that can create something in the size of the phone case and upload it, you make a lovely pattern that looks great on the phone case and you can upload that, then this is another way to make money. So exactly the same, you're going to use Etsy or Shopify as your storefront, and you're going to use Printful ideally. And the reason I recommend them is because they have the lowest cost to produce and the highest customer service and the highest quality out there, and a huge and ever-growing variety of products. Don't put this one aside if you think, you know what, I could probably do that. I've seen some of these things and I think I could make that too. All right, so look out for more videos helping you with that stuff. And again, all of these print on demands are passive income. You set them up, you understand how to list them correctly. Etsy will show them to the right people, and you'll have to do very little work ongoing. And you can sit there in the morning and go, oh look, this amount of money is heading to my bank account today. How nice is that? Okay, number 8 ways to make money from your art this year. Now we're switching gears altogether. This is still online courses. Online courses are still massive. Where do people like to get their information? Online. They want a well-structured, easy course, something that's short and sweet and really nice to do. All right, some people like the meatier courses, other people like those short and sweet courses, but the people really still like to learn online. So if you teach and you're capable of teaching, you can create online courses that can very quickly mount up to become a full-time income. So think about things like short 30-minute courses. Think Skillshare or Domestika, third-party sites that Skillshare you can simply apply and put yourself on there. I think Domestika come looking for you, but you could reach out and see if you're a fit, right? Or you could make that course yourself. You can also create something that's a little bit longer, a bit more in depth, and then you can even work up to what I call your key signature course. That's your $2,000-$3,000 course that you launch once a year. And honestly, there are plenty of people, including artists. In fact, artists are doing incredibly well right now in terms of high price point courses. Why? More and more and more people want to get out of the office and be creative. More and more people want to hone their artistic skills. So if you're sitting there thinking, I have a course in me, I'm just not sure if I can make any money, I'm telling you, you definitely can. So again, you create once, sell forever. Huge profit margins. All you're really paying for is the software that's hosting the course, right? And some marketing, maybe you run some ads down the track. You can build a 6 or 7 figure business doing this. Number 9, and we're keeping in the teaching theme, but we're now going offline, away from the computer, and we're looking at workshops and retreats. Now, who doesn't love an in-person workshop, right? We couldn't do those during COVID, and if you're going to build your business around it, you need to make sure that you have a good backup plan for if something like that were to happen again. But right now, I think more and more people are looking actually for real things they can attend, right? These are going to remain popular. Not everybody wants to be online. Some people like to attend. Some people like to have a real experience. So depending on the material costs, your venue, you should still be able to make a really good profit running workshops and say 5 or 7 day retreats. They do take up, however, quite a bit of your time and your effort. And anyone who's delivered on those will know how exhausting it can be after the fact. So you need to make sure that you're making good money when you set them up. So you can also consider running retreats through a third-party retreat company. There's more and more of those popping up all over the place. And why not run them in beautiful parts of the world that you've always wanted to go to? Think Tuscany, painting retreat in Tuscany. I'm in, right? Who isn't? So you definitely want to think about those higher price point items. If you're running regular workshops or classes, it's nice to offer people, say once a year, hey, come to Tuscany and do my 7-day painting retreat. And last but not least, the model that I've adopted, and that is the membership model. And this is absolutely brilliant for your customers because you can charge a really small amount for them each month, like on a subscription, think Netflix or Amazon Prime. And then it's definitely scalable, right? You do the same amount of work each month, no matter whether you've got 5 members, 50 members, 500 members, 5,000 members. Well, at that point, you probably need some help. But at the end of the day, think about Patreon. If you've come across that already, same thing. You follow an artist, you watch what they're doing, you learn from them every month. There are different membership tiers. You can pay according to what you want. You can set up your own membership on sites like Kajabi. That's the site I have my courses and my membership site set up on. It's actually like a business in a box. If you like, it's just been the best thing. It runs my entire business. I've got all my courses and my membership and my email, all my sales pages, all my customers, all my taking of the money, everything in one place. And it's absolutely perfect for people like us who don't want lots of different platforms to deal with, all right? So memberships are brilliant because they are recurring income. So you've got passive income, which some of these print on demand things are once they're set up. Then you've got recurring income, so people are paying you every month, so you need to keep delivering good content so that they stay. And then you've got active income, which is things like delivering on workshops and retreats. And I think, a good mix of those 3 things is kind of a perfect business.
We hope you enjoyed these countless ways to make extra cash. Did we miss any ideas? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more money saving and wealth building videos.